Hey, hey,
Hey, how's it going?
it's going. How about you?
Doing all right. Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can.
I'm trying to.
You're coming pretty clear. How's mine? I've been trying to work on my audio quality for the podcast.
Uh, yeah, your sound's pretty good. I think you got the length pretty well.
Sweet.
I always wonder if mine's too big
I worry I'm a
or
little
too
quiet.
too long, too short.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I get that. But yeah, so I was going over some of my Vince Gilligan fanfic, and then all of a sudden. Hello. How may we help you?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Zach and Lex Talk Stuff podcast, the podcast where we talk about whatever we feel like. I am formerly the individual known as Lex.
This is the individual formerly known as Zach.
And this is the individual formerly known as John Cena. I mean Jack.
So, if you can't tell by our intro and what we're trying to go for here, we're going to talk about Pluribus, one of the hottest shows currently on streaming, on a streaming site that nobody wants to pay for.
Yeah, I canceled Apple TV as soon as it was done with it. Don't tell Tim.
I still have it because I want to watch Ted Lasso and Shrinking, and then that's it.
I'm a leech. I want to watch that dinosaur show though. I heard that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, heard of what dinosaur show?
I don't know what the name is, but it's like National Geographic, but for dinosaurs, and you get to watch all the species interact and stuff. Yeah, I think you go through the periods. It's similar to the one on Netflix that just came out, but a little bit more fleshed out.
Okay.
But yeah, so today that we wanted to give our brief review and then say what our thoughts are and maybe any and all theories that we have and any other commentary. So who would like to go first for a first non-spoiler brief review?
I'll step in if no one's got things to say.
Yeah, guest first.
You go for it. I don't know how to say anything without immediately spoiling it.
So can we at least give the synopsis, because it's kind of hard. It's one of so the show is one of those shows that if you are listening to this podcast right now, turn it off and go watch the first episode, because the first episode is a phenomenal episode of television, and unfortunately you can't really talk about the show unless you talk about the first episode, which does incur spoilers. So hopefully I rambled enough for you to turn it off. But if you're still here,
pause then
pause and come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically the synopsis of the show is we follow this woman named Carol, who is a writer. She lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, because Vince Gilligan loves that place for some reason. And she is going through her normal everyday life. She had just come back from a book tour with her wife slash publicist, and shit hits the fan because an alien invasion happens, which takes over everyone. And that's about as much as you need to know for the show.
Yeah.
But you can't really explain the show more than that.
Yeah.
You can't explain the show without at least hitting that synopsis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lots of sci-fi.
Absolutely. Any thoughts, Zach? For a brief, quick review, the opening thesis.
I think it might be. I'm trying to stay spoiler free here. That's the thing. It's a very like. I don't want to use the word isolated, but like it's. What happens? It's very isolated, so it's difficult to explain it in a way that isn't extremely specific. If that makes sense. My words.
Funny you mentioned that, because when we get to the spoiler talk, I got thoughts about being isolated, but continue.
Yeah.
I think the first episode is one of the best TV show pilots out there, as in maybe the last decade.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, I want to say this is a brilliant sci-fi show. I knew it was going to be a sci-fi show by Vince Gilligan years ago, and I remember hearing that it was announced that Rhea Seehorn was going to be starring in the show, that she was going to be the main character, and I was like, good for her. She was fantastic in Better Call Saul, so I'm happy that Vince Gilligan carried her over onto the next project that they were doing. But so I think that this is a really compelling, and it's a very compelling show that leaves you at the edge of your seat, and you're always wondering what the hell's going to happen next? What the hell's going to happen next? So, like, we are, like, Zach and Jack have both said, please, if you wish, pause this video and go watch the show, because the pilot will grip you right away, because...
At least the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I've never seen anything like this. It's a sci-fi concept, and like you said, an alien invasion, but done in a way I can't think of. Like, I've never seen something like this before. I can't recall.
It feels like the alien invasion and the sci-fi elements are a background to the character study. The character study is the main part of the show, I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I actually wanted to comment. To be honest, I don't see it as sci-fi. I see it purely as drama with sci-fi aspects.
That's a better. Well, we'll see where season 2 takes us. So, all right.
Yeah.
Here on out, spoilers. So,
we'll add a huge warning in or something.
The alien invasion is basically alien wavelengths that are transmitted like a disease and can hop from person to person.
It's they transmit humans on Earth are pointing telescopes and like radio dishes at the sky, and they see a signal, and in that signal they realize it's an mRNA sequence, and when humans produce it on Earth, that sequence breaks contamination, infects people, and everyone becomes like a hive mind because of it. But yeah, it's like a weird sort of like beyond the stars like secret that was passed to humanity, and then when we used it, we fucked ourselves over.
Yeah. Whoever sent it to us, it was a recipe for opening Pandora's box.
Essentially, yeah. But we just didn't, well, in the show, they didn't know until it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we open up, like we said, they get the transmitter. Everyone's wondering what the hell it is. Then it starts infecting people through contact, and people start making out and licking donuts, which I was like, what is this?
Donuts.
What the fuck? Yeah, initially they spread it through like saliva-based contact, but the thing about the infection is like once it subsumes you, it gathers your knowledge. So as they got smarter, they figured out how to aerosolize the virus, and that's how it's all in the first episode. But after they aerosolize the virus, they just chemtrail dump it across the entire world, which infects pretty much everyone except for
What is it, 11 people?
Yeah, I think maybe Carol's
12.
number 12.
It's 12.
There's 12 people left on the planet that are still individual humans. Every other person has been subsumed into this hive mind, including John Cena.
Well, until the end of the season, it goes back down to 11. My God. So, what do you... So, when we meet Carol, you know, she's a book author. She's married to her publicist.
She's an alcoholic.
And she's an alcoholic. And at first, we actually don't know what was her name? Susan? It was
Helen.
Helen. Sorry, I was thinking of someone
I assume
else.
you mean the wife, Helen, yeah.
Yeah, the Helen. So Helen, you know, we didn't know that they were married until like another episode or two in. Like in the pilot, they don't tell you all the information right away. You know, and I just want to say this briefly and move on because I don't like talking about this for too long. But apparently, jokers like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, they liked Pluribus. They didn't love it because gay woman.
Oh my God.
That's literally it.
What a surprise. There's horrible people out there.
Yeah, that's literally their whole thing. They I think it was either Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers or Critical Drinker that said, I have lesbian fatigue in media. And I'm like, and they're like, why do they always shove it in our face? Why can't it just be organic? And I'm like, they did it very organic in the show. It was not in your face. In the first episode, you couldn't tell. It wasn't until like maybe the third episode where they officially confirmed we are married, because even in the second episode it was implied that they were like partners, like romantic partners, but we didn't know how deep. And then third episode, my wife. And so, you know, I just want to say to those guys, what the hell do you want? Here's what you want. You don't want any representation that isn't straight white males. So go jump off a building, please. For the love of God.
Honestly, not gonna lie, I think this show would be worse if... I feel like it would be worse if the main character was a man. I feel like it's more interesting with Carol.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I think it's also... I think it does give like a interesting look, especially in their marriage, because like we don't really see them together very much. We see a couple flashbacks, but that's it. And as the show goes on, we kind of learn that their marriage was good, not great, because they
were very, very much opposite people.
Yeah.
I think their marriage worked. I think the thing was Carol got in her own way.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. 100%. But there's also like stuff there where it's revealed by one of the people that Helen read her like book that wasn't part of that space romance series and said that she didn't read it at all.
Romantasy.
She lied about it. So it's like, oh. And it's also revealed that that thing that was in her liquor cabinet was some sort of detection thing to... what was it? Was it to stop Carol from drinking for the eggs? Or was it... What was it?
Well, yeah. Essentially, it's a little sensor that tells you... doesn't stop the door from opening, but it's a sensor that tracks how many times the door is opened, so that Helen would know how often she's drinking, because that would impact the health of the eggs.
Yeah. I feel like...
Which is, just a quick aside, if you haven't seen the show, they were trying for a baby via in vitro fertilization, which is a plot-relevant point, but really watch the show, please.
Yeah.
We're really jumping all over the place with this show. And if you're here in the episode and you had that moment of like, I'll just keep watching if I haven't seen it, go see it.
Please.
Go see it.
Please.
There's so much in-depth stuff that it guaranteed we're not going to do it full justice in this episode.
No.
It is fantastic media. I will say in this episode, I might have some hot takes compared to you guys, but that being said, go watch it.
All right. So, what were your guys' first impression of the hive mind within the first 3 episodes?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. If that happened to me, I think I would be what was the guy's name? Mr. Devontae. I think I would be Mr. Devontae for a little bit before becoming more like Carol or Manusos. You know. I think initially I would be very wow, this is kind of weird, scary, but hey, man, if I can take a free ride on Air Force One, I'll give it a try.
I think within the first 36 hours, I would be freaking the fuck out. And then maybe a week later, I would try a few things to cope. But then eventually...
initially, in the first 24 hours, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? But when I realized that they're not trying to kill me, I'd be like, oh, okay.
I'd be like, okay, maybe I can use this to my advantage or something. I don't know.
That's the thing. I think I had an opposite reaction to the hive than you guys initially, but I did want to clarify in the question by what our thoughts are on the hive. Do you mean joining the hive or the hive in general?
I think the hive in general.
Okay.
I
would never join
it. Get to the eventual ending, I'm saying, initial thoughts on the hive mind within the first 3 episodes.
Well, that's the thing. My view on the hive drastically changed. Where, for example, I remember watching the first episode. I watched the show far after you guys.
We all watched the first episode together, though.
Yes.
Just for anyone listening.
I was freaked out by the hive in the first episode. And after learning more about the hive, I think if I was not part of the hive, one of the 11 or the 13th person, I would want to savor my individuality. And I don't think I would trust the hive that much because you never know what's going on. But I think I would be reacting in a way of coping through requiring normalcy. So it seems like they would, do whatever makes you comfortable, we're here to help. So I would be like, I just want a normal day. I need, milk after I go to work. So I just need to stop by the store, pick up some milk, go to the apartment and turn on, Netflix as I'm doing the dishes, something like that.
Yeah.
But I also remember thinking, before knowing more about the hive mind, I remember thinking, if I had to join it, I don't think it would be too bad. Because as someone with ADHD, it's very difficult to have a quiet mind. And so that idea of universal bliss seemed pretty alluring to me, but also the loss of individuality would be too much to lose,
I see what you mean. I mean, still my initial thought, within the first 3 episodes, was that I don't like this hive mind. My initial thoughts would be you guys aren't people. You guys aren't the people that I knew. You're not the body. You have the memories, but you're not the person. And it's I think it's I guess it would be the Blade Runner question, but it's the do androids dream of robotic sleep? I guess it would be that question, but I would still feel threatened and antagonized by the hive, and losing my individuality still that would suck. I know there's people that are well, you wouldn't have to worry about that afterward. It's but I mean, I guess it's the thing of what awaits for us after we die. is there a heaven, or does everything just go black? And I hope that there is something, because I don't want everything to just go black. Can you imagine just not existing anymore? And that's basically
actually,
what the hive
you're
mind
going
is.
down the exact direction I was hoping we would, because I think our reactions to this kind of align with our views on what comes after. To answer your question about the saying this is going to make me sound like a 14-year-old edgy kid who thinks he sounds cool, but that like scene in BoJack Horseman where there's the doorway and just nothing after, and BoJack, it's been a while since I've seen the scene, but said something like, see you on the other side, and he's like, oh no, BoJack, there's nothing on the other side. I found comfort in that, because I think, I can't know what's past life. So I imagine it as, all I know is energy can't be created nor destroyed. It's just distributed. And so I see like our energy, what makes us combining in the world around us. And so when comparing becoming part of the hive mind to death, what really pops into my mind is, are we conscious that we're part of the hive mind, or is it just like completely everything that used to be you personality wise is gone and you're just a memory in the hive mind?
I anticipate it as the memory in the hive mind, but then again, as the show will go on, not this season, but eventually when it gets a season 2, hopefully soon, we'll see more. But overall, I interpret it as, we have your memories. We don't have your personality. We have your memories, because every like person that has the hive mind in them speaks in the same tone. Like nobody.
They all use first person first person plural pronouns. They only say we and us.
Nobody has a different inflection. Everybody's voice sounds the same.
I think a great example of that is when Carol's talking about her books. I forget the name of the person who formerly was, but it was in like the oh no, I'm talking about the guy that was in the almost like
room?
biking outfit.
Yeah,
in the dining room.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that was a great example of like, there's so many different performers and actors that are able to copy the same like universal mannerisms.
Yeah, they all have like a weird smile on their face too whenever they talk to her.
Yeah, honestly. And I also want to state, my views on the hive mind aren't the same as when I first kind of was trying to get a better understanding for it. I don't want to join it now, obviously, but I just found it like an interesting concept.
Yeah.
But it really pertains to what the inner workings of the hive mind are, and we don't really know that right now.
No. Yeah, because initially, like I said, I was antagonized, and then as the show goes on, I let my guard down and go, well, I mean, we could coexist with them. We don't have to join them, but we can coexist with them. Like it's like animals and people, where it's like we don't join the animals, but we coexist with them. Or I like to think in a good world we should. But so
that was another thing that had me thinking about the hive mind is, would it be better for the planet too?
But what's funny is like, because before we get onto anything else, and I do want to talk more about Carol and then eventually Medusos. I just want to say, like I stated early in the episode, I have never seen a concept like this before, where it's like, so what is this, an alien invasion? Not quite. What is this, some sort of alien virus? Not quite. We're like a pathogenic radio wave thing from outer space. Like, it's hard to describe. I say I describe it as War of the Worlds, the virus that wipes out the aliens, meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
But one important factor is that this whole show happens because humans push and prod. Humans are the ones that collect the radio signal from outer space. Humans are the ones that decode it, realize it's mRNA. Humans are the ones that start producing it in government labs across the country. And humans are the ones that accidentally let it leak. Like, if we didn't do that, the aliens couldn't have invaded, you know?
Curiosity killed the cat.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. But so I think now is a good time to really get into Carol. So I really like Carol. I don't know if I love her. I don't know if I have a favorite character in this show. I think with Carol, her frustration is absolutely valid. Like, because her whole world just got shaken upside down. And
which I don't think we mentioned, but during the whole takeover thing, there were a certain amount of humans that were just not compatible with the hive mind.
Yeah.
Her wife Helen was one of those people. She got infected and like had the little seizure, but Helen did not survive. And Carol ends up burying her in their backyard, but that sets the impetus of her really not trusting the hive at first, because she doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And she, for the first couple of episodes, thinks the hive deliberately killed Helen.
I mean, how are you supposed to react if your first interaction with the group that wants to assimilate you is them accidentally killing your partner? I mean,
yeah, and also her reaction to the other people, the other individuals that are all like, we're fine with this. Like, no one else has a differing opinion. And I understand that they're all kind of coping, and they have some points. Like, yes, there's no crime. Yes, animals are free from the zoo. Yes, there's no more pollution. But, like, we need to analyze this a bit more and maybe consider some other factors. And, like, maybe we can't put... like, the hive mind is not the answer. That's what that's what Carol is stating. To very bluntly and maybe not as articulate as she could, but I agree with her. It's like, no, this is, we need to like get some of the people back because they took us over. Yes, they asked for a permission if we could join, but they didn't ask our permission necessarily to enter everyone else. Then again, you could...
permission doesn't even work for them.
Yeah. What we'll find out later on. It is interesting that the hive mind... like, Carol gets the answers from the people and then eventually from Pirate Lady. I just call her Pirate Lady because it's fun. Where they ask for permission, they cannot lie, they cannot kill, and they are all connected. So I think it's also just interesting where she's kind of the one trying to like break this down. And granted, she finds out others have been ahead of her this whole time, but because we're following Carol, it's such an interesting point of view. And by the way, I was rewatching the first couple episodes of Breaking Bad today. I wanted to watch a couple more, but I had other things to do today. And that first episode is so great. That pilot of Breaking Bad
it's
is
fantastic.
amazing. It's one of the best pilots ever. And it's like Walt is having a midlife crisis. He is sad. Walter White is sad with his life. Then something happens to him, and it shakes up his world. He
becomes a mermaid.
And he then goes on this journey and comes out of it with an end goal that he is satisfied with. Saul Goodman is a sad man who is unhappy with his status in the law as a lawyer, as a name, and as time goes on, he kind of gets what he wants. Granted, in a bittersweet fashion, but his name is solidified, and he still gets a lot of the stuff that he wants. We don't know where Carol's endgame could be, and I think maybe that's for the best, because it leaves a bit of an opening, like, because I can't predict the show. I can't predict the show whatsoever, and I think that's one of the rare instances where I'm like, oh my gosh, the show is keeping me on my toes, because I don't know what's going to happen next. And like, we see Carol is a writer who is not happy with what she's putting out and wants something more. Now, will the series end with a book called How the World Changed? Oh, wait, actually, maybe I already called this. People in years from now listening to this on Spotify, YouTube, what have you, the name of the book that she writes is called Pluribus.
It's a George Lucas moment where it's like, oh, it's all a book. It's called the Star Wars.
It all comes full circle.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah.
Now add some Gungans in there. Misha, gonna be honest, Yusa pissing me off a little bit.
Misha about to fucking beat your ass. And then
if you talk about R4 like that again.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting character study of Carol, this person who has clearly been scorned by the world so many times, and who she has
I don't think Carol's been scorned, but I think
she was sent to a straight camp. Like, yeah, I'd say that's pretty bad. Like, she said, I don't talk to my mother. She sent me to a straight camp. I my only way to make an income is writing books that I don't like. She lives comfortably.
But she chooses to do that. She chooses to make the romantasy. So in Carol's thing, that she's a successful author because she writes this like romantasy series, and it makes her and Helen a lot of money. But it's not what she wants to be writing. But it's successful for her and Helen. And Helen appreciates all of the things that Carol's career allows them to do. Like, there's this one like flashback where they go to like that weird ice hotel that's like in Sweden that's all made of ice.
Yeah. It was weird, but kind of cool.
Helen liked it. Helen was excited for the adventure, but Carol was just like, I am not about to sleep on an ice bed. So it's like, to a certain degree, she gets in the way of her own, like, at least wanting to be happy,
Yeah.
Very much so. She's tripping on her own feet, like getting in her own way and self-sabotaging. I also see a lot of like, I don't want to use the word privilege, but like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good word for it, but like in her actions, I don't know. She's an interesting character and sometimes difficult to like.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the train scene?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's one part. This one I've been thinking about all day, but there's one part in the show where, in terms of Carol's like loneliness, her and she eventually like has a relationship with one of the Hive people who she kind of treats as an individual, but the Hive does not see it that way.
Yeah.
But her and this person of the Hive, they go on like a nature hike, and one thing that they do is they oversee a train area, and the train's going through, of course, because like the Hive is like moving things on the train, but they blow the whistle, And Carol's just like, I think that's the loneliest sound in the world, hearing a whistle on a train. Which I understand her where she's coming from in that sense, but that is choosing to be isolated, because a whistle on a train is not the loneliest sound in the world. The whistle of a train is for communication. The whistle on the train is to let, the guy that's in the tower or let the guy down the line know, like, hey, I'm a train and I'm coming through. And for her to like hear that sound and go, that sound is lonely. Like, she's putting up these walls to prevent herself from connecting with people.
Well, that's why I say I think she's been scorned, because yes, she has found success, but I think stuff has happened to her, and maybe we'll find out more, but I can clearly tell that she is someone that has a hard time letting people in, either because people have scorned her, or she sees something within herself that she's like, it doesn't matter how good you treat me. Why are you treating me nice? There's something wrong with me. Can't you see there's something wrong with me? Which I think I see some relatability, because I think we all have our insecurities. We all have our fears. That's like, why are you with me? Here's X, Y, and Z reasons as to why. Why are you spending time with me? And sometimes we can't accept the answer is because we just like you. And
that's true, yeah.
And I think that is going to be an interesting journey for her, because she meets another character in the show, Manusos, who I think is very interesting. This guy is hardcore. Oh my gosh. Do you guys want to get into Manusos?
He's the reason why I think the show wouldn't work as well if you followed the male main character as opposed to a female main character.
Totally agree. I and I find it very interesting that they're on very different ends of the spectrum when it comes to like when they finally meet. They're like so aligned with what they want to do until they actually meet, and then they're on complete opposite sides and clash.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason why is because something that we didn't bring up is eventually, like, Carol comes around to the hive and starts accepting them, and so he hasn't gotten to that point. Like, Manusos was her in the beginning up until like the middle of the series, and then basically it's like you are basically where I started, and so that immediately butts heads. Like, had they met around the same time, I think they would have gotten along a lot sooner. But also clearly, excuse me. But also clearly, Manusos comes off as someone that also builds walls.
That's the thing. When you see both of them, and this is one of my thoughts about Carol too, is that one of the reasons why it's difficult to like her as a character is because, and not to throw in the word again, but a different kind of like privileges, like my mindset is right, yours is wrong, and the inability to put herself in other people's mindsets. And they're very locked into that, just my way or the highway. And I think they would work together well if they met both at the same time in the beginning, but they would have kind of splintered from how extreme Manuso can be.
Yeah. By the way, when he goes through the jungle and everything like that, God. Did you guys think he was going to make it? At first, I wasn't entirely sure. I was like...
I was sure he was going to make it, but once they mentioned those plants, I was like, he's definitely going to get hurt. He's definitely going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
When I saw that, I screamed. I screamed in my seat.
I know, I was like,
I knew that they were going to, like, save him, because, like... in a prior episode, Carol was like, "Are you spying on me?" And they were like, "Yes, we're spying at you from 50,000 feet in like a predator drone that flies above the United States." So I knew for a fact that they were probably keeping an eye on Manusos as well. Mm-hmm. And the second he gets hurt, they swoop in to save him. But it almost seems like an obligation. It seems like the hive mind cannot allow a human to die if the human is going to, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it makes you wonder if it's values or if it's a body that can be taken over by the hive mind. They don't want to lose another hive mind individual. Or I kept seeing them as the Borg from Star Trek, where, you know, they're expendable, but you don't want to just drop a member of the hive.
Yeah, it's like
which
collecting
we should
all
probably
your eggs in
bring
one
up.
basket.
We should probably bring up now, as John Cena's profile picture is so graciously holding for us. In the show, one of the things that the hive cannot do is it cannot harm things. It cannot butcher creatures for food. It can't even like pick apples off the tree. Yeah. So they say. So one thing that the hive runs into real quick is it's still in control of like 7.3 billion bodies that it needs to feed, and has really no way of really doing so. So at first they start eating all like the canned goods and perishables and stuff, but they come up with a solution, which is they're going to use like the 800 million dead bodies that happened during the joining, and they like basically boil them down into this single source human protein, and they put it in a juice box, which you can see John Cena holding.
This is how we get our sustenance. 1/2 pint of this shelf-stable liquid contains 300 calories, which means that based on a diet of 2,400 calories a day, someone John Cena's size needs 8 of these every 24 hours.
Yeah. But that's how the hive like feeds itself. But eventually that's a cliff. Like they're gonna run out of bodies to boil up and turn into the protein.
Yeah. This is basically
you gotta get your protein.
This is basically Soylent Green,
or like a suicide cult. Eventually, they're gonna starve to death because they have no ability to actually grow or raise their own food.
Yeah,
which I think that was one of the big kickers for, and we can talk more about this later. I don't want to sidetrack the conversation where we are right now, but early on, I was like, I know the creator said that this wasn't his original intention, but I kept seeing the hive mind as AI, and it that idea of it's eventually going to starve itself really made me think of AI.
Yeah, it's gonna consume its own content and just get shittier and shittier.
Yeah, and so a couple things. So I do want to talk about when Carol is like questioning her friend pirate lady, Zashwa is her name. Zosha. Zosha. Thank you. It's been a couple of months since I've watched the show. So the only characters I can remember are Carol and Manusos, which are technically the only characters. And so
hey, there's what's her face, Lakshmi.
Yeah. Don't forget Mr. President.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come back, but
I think he will.
No, it wasn't. The actual president died, and they just who did they have? He was wearing a suit, and he looked nice.
Was he like some person in charge of agriculture or something?
He was like the Interior Secretary of Agriculture.
Yeah.
But so
which is ironic because they're farming dead bodies.
I know, right?
To live.
Yeah. Before I get into the hospital sequence that leads to a series of events, when you met the John Cena talking about the human juice boxes, one, it's really funny they picked John Cena.
His name is John Cena.
Two, this is the only other time in like an apocalypse scenario where a celebrity is mentioned. Because I have wondered that, where it's like, I know celebrities are rendered useless now because there's no need for entertainment. It's just survival. But I've had the thought of like, I wonder what would happen to some of those guys. Like, would they be thriving or would they be worse off? And the last time I can think of anything like that was in Zombieland 1 with Bill Murray. And then he gets shot.
So do you have any regrets?
Garfield, maybe?
I love that interview where they're like, "Do you really need to do another Garfield movie?" And he's like, "Drugs cost money."
They do.
Yeah. But yeah, so apparently there is a possibility that this can be cured. That the hive mind can technically be cured. And so when her friend is given the grenade and she throws it and, you know, is sent to the hospital, that we see Carol trying to get answers out of her, and her idea is, I'm going to drug her up so that she can tell me her secrets. She tests it on herself, and then she's trying to do it on her. And as she's digging into it, the hive is going after her. And so one thing I was like, wait, you're doing this in like an open space. Everyone is going to come to you. Why don't you just do this in the closet and barricade the door? That way there's at least something to stop you, to stop them from getting to you. And clearly there's something, but she won't give a straight answer. And you see all the people with the tears saying, please, Carol, please, Carol, please, Carol. Oh my gosh. That was so creepy. Oh my gosh. And then after that, next episode starts. They're all like, Carol, we're a little upset with you right now. So we want some personal space. And
they basically break up with her.
Yeah, I know. Which kind of changed my mind about the hive mind for like a couple of episodes, where I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, I kind of feel bad. Like, you feel a little bad, and clearly I guess they do have feelings. Because they're literally like, we need space. We'll help you.
I took it as more like a level of self-preservation. Because an aspect we haven't touched on yet, but at the beginning of the show, you know, when Carol's interacting with the hive, you know, she'll fly into like a moment of rage or like start yelling at them. And like when that happens, the hive sort of subsumes her emotional state and triggers them to have a seizure. Which is bad enough on its own, having a seizure. But like, since it's a worldwide seizure, you know, there's like hive people that are like driving or flying planes or shit, and like they die. And like the first time it happens, Carol's like, oh my god, I killed 16 million people with like my freak out, because you know there were people moving and they died while Carol was, you know, doing her thing.
I know.
So she's like, I can't do this anymore. So she like tries to get a better handle on her emotional state, but it is possible the hive just left in the sense of self-preservation, because they're like, if we go through another emotional outburst with you, Carol, you're going to kill more of us. So we just can't be around you until you know, calm the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I think it was an easy tool for them to get her on their side, because they were always observing what she was trying to do. They knew she was trying to reverse things.
Yeah, it's the manipulation.
I was about to say,
I think it was a very much a solitary confinement or Stockholm syndrome, you know, starting to really identify with your captor.
She begged them to come back.
Yeah, she paints it on her driveway that says come back, and she
of course the
that's
Predator drone
when
at
she
60,000 feet sees her.
Yeah,
because they're still watching her, they're just not talking to her.
Which we talked about, like, favorite characters or interesting characters, and I think the hive mind is really interesting because they'll pull shit like that and they claim to be so open. They don't lie, they don't hurt things, but I think they are so locked down, and you can tell in the interactions that it's just a safe in there. And I think one of the most sinister things in it is that they can't lie, but that doesn't mean they can't withhold information.
Yes.
Or there's certain things we're not telling. And so I think that's honestly a little worse than lying, because I have the opportunity to tell you. I can tell you right now, but I'm not going to because I got to hide that.
Yeah. And we'll get into the ending a little later on, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings and confirmed feelings. But so, yeah, I do kind of like the episodes where Carol's just kind of alone. And I did think she was asking a little too much. I was like, dude, they're pissed off at you. You really want to anger them more by asking for a bunch of shit? That's like pissing off your girl.
Yeah, what pissed me off was that dinner out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will admit, it looked like a lovely dinner, and I would do the same thing. I mean, but in all honesty, if I had that option of just asking people to leave me alone, like if they do what I say, I'd be like, hey, can you just do this from afar? And I had just have this whole building to myself. You just prepare a dinner, I'll be there, and I'm just by myself. Because I kind of... I like that alone time sometimes, you know?
That thing about the dinner, and I think she gets to it by the end of the dinner too. I don't think I can enjoy a meal that decadent without someone there for company.
No. That's the thing. A meal in storytelling is always used as conversation or something to represent breaking bread. You can't break bread without anyone else there. It's difficult to break bread with yourself.
The meals that she selected were like the favorite meals that her and Helen ever had, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. All memories that she can't share those with.
Yeah. Which as a quick aside, the Hive did kill Helen trying to subsume her, but was able to grab her memories before she died. Yeah. So like whenever like Carol is talking to the Hive, they have all of her wife's memories, which is like super fucking creepy.
Yeah. And she even says,
fact that they fucking chose... Sorry, you go.
No, sorry, I just want to say, she even says, hey, don't access my wife's memories. Like you don't deserve to think about her. The only one that's allowed to remember her is me, because she meant something to me. She was just another person to you guys. You were saying? Sorry.
Oh, no, you're all good. Like, what's it called? Oh, it's so freaky that they purposefully chose her ambassador or
her chaperone.
Yeah, thank you. Her chaperone to look exactly like the character from her book that she'd be attracted to or comfortable with. Yeah. It feels very manipulative from the start.
Oh, yeah.
Also, my co-host is over here. She's joined and staring at me. Excuse me. But she's on the couch.
It's Luna o'clock.
Yeah. Earlier than usual. Usually, right when I'm starting to get to bed, that's when she wants to get up and play.
All right, so I have a question about the pirate lady. Were you guys expecting this as well? I still think we might see it someday in like a later season, but the whole thing with Carol gets, a chaperone that's part of the Hive, but it's basically like her person that like follows her around and like explains things to her. And it's like this Polish woman named Zosia, but the reason the Hive selects Zosia is because she just so happens to look like the female version of like the love interest from Carol's books. And in her books, it's like a pirate dude named Raban. So that's why, as Lex has been saying, the pirate lady. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I was expecting in that, at least in the first or maybe second season, was that Zosia looks like Helen to a degree. And I was expecting to see a flashback where, because in the very first episode, Helen and Carol are like, Helen's doing like the PR stuff for Carol's new book. And one of the tweet comes in and the tweet's like, oh, who did you base the character of Raban off of? And Helen's like, should I tell the truth? Carol's like, should I tell the truth? And Helen's like, no, you should hip it up. You should talk about like some Brazilian soccer player. And she's like, no, but I'll still lie. I'll say it's George Clooney. So her saying I'll still lie, I assumed that at some point we'd see a flashback where either they weren't together yet or like they were still just dating, where Carol and Helen went to like a Halloween party and Helen was dressed up as a pirate. And that was what made Carol go, oh shit, I should write a romantasy book.
Or
and,
maybe,
you know, obviously
maybe that's how they met at a Halloween party.
That's what because
and she was dressed.
That's what I was thinking, maybe, because the only thing that we learn about Carol's writing is the fact that she started writing in like her temp job, and she would like write on like the yellow lined paper that she would steal. Mm-hmm. So she had her ideas for her books when she was young, definitely like in college, but you don't learn whether or not it's like the serious book that she really wants to write, or if she like fell into the romantasy genre later when she realized like, oh, I can't make money off my serious writing, but I can make money off of the romantasy smut.
Yeah.
Because she is definitely not fulfilled in what she writes. She does not like what she writes that's popular.
Absolutely not.
Every one of Vince Gilligan's protagonists have not been fulfilled.
No. That's what makes a good protagonist. That makes a person that wants to change, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of his other works, where would you guys kind of position this compared to Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad?
For me, it's hard to say. As someone who is literally, I'm like 3 episodes away from finishing my rewatch of Breaking Bad, it's hard to re-enjoy Breaking Bad because Walt is just so bad. You know, he's such an asshole. Like to the point where like I'm literally sitting on, because I want my fiance to watch it with me, but I'm sitting on Ozymandias right now because like, you know, if you've seen Breaking Bad, you know, but you know, like it's you know, I just want to see the downfall of the guy, where I don't want to see the downfall of Saul. Don't spoil Better Call Saul. Haven't finished that one. But I also don't want to see the downfall of Carol. Like, I just want to see them change and be better people. For Walt, I was like, okay, put this man to the ground.
No, Walt, it's all about Walt's downfall, because I rewatched the first couple episodes, and first time I watched it, I immediately thought, oh, he's doing this for his family. And he also happens to be in a midlife crisis, and this gives him a little extra something. So it's just a bonus. Yeah. And then on the rewatch after finishing the whole show and beyond, you realize, oh, you were doing this for yourself the whole time. You were always a scumbag. You just didn't start showing it until you got the cancer. So for me, Walt's downfall is now more satisfying, especially seeing where it started and where it goes, because I remember seeing his downfall initially because we're so close to the protagonist. We're like, no, but maybe, Walt, maybe you could fix, but then as time goes on, you separate yourself and you give it a rewatch, you're like, nah, you know what? Fuck you, Walt.
No, like, honestly, you could see the roots forming as he started to get more money, as he honestly cared more about the power he got over the life that he had left.
Yeah.
Rather than caring about the, quality of it or, saving the life he had.
I think
the worst is right after he kills Gus. He's riding so high on that. He's like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like a especially that phone call with Skylar and when he had the baby. I was just thinking, like, man, that's something you'd see. That kind of phone call is like an FBI 3-hour-long expose by Wendigoon, just like breaking down what happened, kind of thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think so. For me, it goes Better Call Saul for number 1, Breaking Bad, and I say for now, I'll put Pluribus on 3. Not because it's the worst of the bunch. I don't think it is. I think that it's really good. I think it's one of the best shows currently going right now. But I think we need to see where it goes. So
we've only had the first season.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we can truly gauge it until we get the second season, at least.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Which should we talk about how this season ends, seeing as we just passed an hour?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we get to the end. Manusos and Carol meet. Carol is welcoming Pirate Lady with open arms. They go golfing. They talk about experiences, everything like that. She's treating her like an individual when she's really not.
Which I don't think we mentioned, but Manusos was a Peruvian national living in Colombia. So he literally travels on foot and by car all the way from Colombia to New Mexico in order to meet Carol. Because Carol sends out like a message on, radio waves, and he picks it up. But
yeah,
this dude travels like 1,000 miles to go visit her.
I know, and he learned English too, which was impressive.
Yeah, he learned English on the Expedia tapes.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was badass. But so, they have the interaction. He does the freak out thing that Carol does in the beginning. Carol defends them. Is like, you probably just killed more people, you sick fuck. And, views him as a dangerous man. Because also, now that I think about it, the Hive also alluded to that he was a dangerous man.
Yeah, so Carol does freakouts by accident and kills people, but she tells Manusos, and he deliberately has a freakout in order to
it's all an
just test it and see what happened. Mm-hmm. But he ends up killing millions of bodies by doing that. And he doesn't really feel super bothered by it.
He is cold. I wonder what his whole deal is, and we'll see it, but I'm excited. And so he's also near the radio, because like we said, it was technically broadcasted by radio waves, and so he's trying to see, I think there's something, he thinks maybe there's a chance to bring people back. He's talking to the people. Hey, come back. If you can hear me, please say something. Please blink. And so he might be onto something, and then Carol comes in with a shotgun and stops him, and then the Hive Mind gives him. And then the Hive Mind gives him the Carol isolation treatment. Mm-hmm. Then, Carol and Pirate Lady. I just like calling her Pirate Lady. It's fun.
Pirate Lady.
They go on a little vacation, which actually looks very nice. Then they go to the ski lodge where they're talking, and then it's eventually revealed in a deep.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
Before you say that, I don't think we even mentioned how they think they can get you to join the Hive Mind. I don't think we mentioned that.
At least for Carol's perspective,
yeah.
Yeah, for those who, haven't seen the show yet, spoilers, they are thinking they can use stem cells by getting to get them to join the Hive Mind and have it work properly.
Which is why Carol going for IVF treatment becomes relevant later in the series.
Mm-hmm. Initially, she was thinking, you can only get it by a very painful procedure of sticking, something in my spinal cord and getting stem cells.
Yeah, you have to touch my person in order to get to me, and that happens to one of the 12 people.
Consent.
It happens to one of the 12 people, and once that happens, everybody in that village gets up and goes away. So they found a cure, it works, and it's scary.
That scene where the goat is going after her too freaked me out.
Yeah.
I think that freaked me out more than the Carol Please crying scene, because I know you guys also obviously own pets. I cannot imagine leaving the pet and them not knowing where you're going, what happened, just I can't.
Which is weird, because in the stadium where a lot of them were sleeping, a lot of them continue the pets. I guess maybe.
Oh no, because they keep following them, but they don't really see him as a pet.
Yeah,
well, that's the. Do we have time to get into that? Because that's one of the things that I was really questioning. So one of the big things that Carol writes, Carol has like a whiteboard in order to do like notes for her novels, but she starts using the whiteboard to like keep notes on the Hive. And one of the big rules that she writes is that they cannot lie. Mm-hmm. But I genuinely think that the Hive can lie, and she was just incorrect because earlier she meets people that have, the bodies still have the pets, and the pets follow them around, and Zoisha explains like, oh, if a body still has like a pet that follows it around, we do our best to take care of the pet, until the pet passes.
I interpreted it. Then no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say in the last episode when the woman finally gets subsumed into the hive mind and her goat tries to follow her, they leave the goat. Yeah. They don't take the goat, and that's just a straight up lie.
I interpret it as it needs to follow for a prolonged amount of time. Like if the dog
maybe
because maybe like the goat follows and then she gets too far away, the goat can't follow. Who knows? Maybe they'll get into that later. But so what we learn is that we know they can cure them, and it's revealed that yes, Carol has not given them permission to get her stem cells from her, but they found a loophole and got it from her eggs that are stored. And I think when I found that out, that was my moment where I realized, oh, yeah, my feelings about the hive mind were correct the whole time. You're not interested in the best for people. You just want more bodies. You want more eggs in your basket for your hive. Like, yep. You were gonna turn Carol no matter what, and you found a loophole to do that. So God only knows what kind of loopholes they're gonna find to inject it into her. So now they have her stem cells. And then after that, Carol...
realistically, they're not going to even need to inject her. They'll just fly it up into the atmosphere and aerosolize it, just like they did for a majority of the people.
That's what they could do. They literally could just stage a gas leak. Oh, we're just putting new gas in your house.
They don't we're just filling your house with carbon monoxide.
Yeah. She could be asleep and they could pump it in. She would never know.
Now I'm just picturing she gets jokered, like she opens a cartoonishly wrapped box and she opens it and it's
the Joker gas in there.
Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, and so she gets dropped off by the helicopter, and we get one of my favorite payoffs in the whole show. So, back when she had the grenade and she was joking, and even the hive couldn't tell if she was joking or not. She's like, "Give me a grenade. Just give me a grenade," because she was like, "I want to end everything. I'm done." And she's given the grenade, and she just thinks it's fake, and then she hears it ticking.
She thinks it's a dud, yeah.
Yeah, she thinks it's a dud, and then Pirate Lady throws it out the window, an explosion, and she talks to one of the nurses of the hive mind at the hospital, and she's like, "So, you gave me a live grenade." "Well, because you asked for it." "But that was dangerous. But you asked for it." "Okay, say if you got me like a machine gun, would you give it to me?" "Yes." "If I asked for a tank, would you give it to me?" "Yes." "If I asked for a nuke, would you give it to me?" And they hesitate.
We'd advise against it, Carol, but we'd say yes.
Yeah, they hesitate. They had to find a proper phrasing in order to say it. And
we might have you sign terms and conditions, but...
Yeah. Yes. Where do I sign for the nuke delivery?
And then
drop zone.
And then the helicopter drops off a crate, and Manusos asks, "What's inside?" And she replies with the last line of the show, "A nuke." I had my moment of just my slow, clapping of cinema. Great payoff. Yeah. I thought that was a great payoff of the...
It honestly makes the most sense, too, because, if she truly wanted to protect the individual that is Carol, she would need a nuke, because like any other thing they could probably get around, but like she just has to set off the nuke, and that obliterates her and like everything in the 50 miles. So they can't even get close to her with that thing.
I mean, technically, if you want to get into the details too, the radiation would
that's true.
deteriorate her body too, being that close to it.
And I mean, if you're close enough to a nuke that you have to manually set it off, you are atomized. You got nothing left on you.
No. Was it an atom bomb or a nuke? I can't remember.
Those are ostensibly the same.
Okay.
I think she says nuclear bomb.
Yeah. I'll put the clip in later. I'll put the clip in. But so yeah. I thought that was a great last line before the finale, and I was like, well, how the hell are you guys gonna save the world? Like I don't know. Like that's the great thing about the show. I don't know where they're gonna go, and it excites me. Like I can't recall the last time I watched a show and I couldn't predict anything at all.
The last one for me was Severance, which surprisingly is also an Apple TV show. But yeah, really good.
All right.
For me, it was Tim Robinson's Chair Company.
I've heard that one's good too.
Just because of how irrational
I'll have to check
the comedy is.
Any final thoughts before we exit?
I think we touched pretty much everything I had thought about.
I liked Pluribus. I'm really going to have to see how season 2 is to get a better feeling for it, because it really had some ups and downs. I think the best episode of the show was the first one, and then it didn't really meet that same peak. But I mean, how do you match that bombshell of alien invasion in the middle of the first episode?
Yeah.
But I think it's a really interesting show, and I'm curious to see where it goes. But I think there were some points where I admittedly was getting a little bored, but I'm still intrigued and excited for season 2. Just I'm curious what angle they're going to go with. It would be interesting.
Yeah, I will
if they
say
did
it's
a season
slower
on every survivor.
Yeah.
We haven't even met half of the survivors yet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Only the English speaking ones, right?
Only yeah.
Yeah. I'm very curious. I don't know when we're gonna get a season 2. I think maybe because some of these shows now just have a higher production and it takes so long.
Yeah.
But by the way, I gotta say real quick, this is one of the best productions I have seen from Vince Gilligan. The production quality is insane. They get planes and trucks and confines.
Yeah.
The budget for the show
just
must be crazy.
Look at the sets. They have empty towns. That is incredibly difficult to do.
No.
And it's not they're just building a town. They've got to clear everything out.
Right. They do this one bit where in the parts where Carol's alone, the Hive still sends food to her, and they deliver it via drone. And there's a bit where this really nice looking drone comes flying over town with whatever her package that she ordered, and it gets itself accidentally wrapped around the telephone pole and crashes.
Yeah.
And so they ruined a really nice drone in order to do that shot. And then they send a second drone to complete the delivery. So it's you definitely not wasting, but definitely it's an expensive production.
Mm-hmm. Also,
but yeah, some of the physical comedy of that show I really appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite bit was the one where she's trying to save the guy that's getting the plane off the building, and she has a little momentary freak out, and so the dude starts convulsing, and he's just getting scraped across the building because Carol's trying to lower him on the bucket, but she doesn't know how to run the bucket, so he's just getting scraped. And then when everyone calms down, the dude is still dangling, but he just thumb over the back just goes, "We're okay, Carol, thank you."
Yeah.
He's just stuck in the Family Guy death pose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he basically is being dangled 30 feet up in the air.
What is our wish list for season 2? What would we like to see before we wrap
I
up?
want to see the flashback of her and Helen at the pirate as a pirate, please, Vince. Please, Vince.
I want to see Carol open up and become a more likable character, and I want to see growth, but I also want to see the same way I want to see growth in Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor. I want that personal growth and precision honed in on what she wants to do, because she's very erratic in the first season, and I'm curious to see how that how she will be able to grow in this instance. Not just that she will be, but like how.
Yeah, I think she's more solid. I assume she'll be more solid going into the second season, because the first season was like, at first she was like, I hate this, get out of here, and then she was like, maybe the hive's not too bad, and then she fucks one of them, and then she's like, oh wait, maybe I should get a bomb to protect myself.
Yeah.
I think I'll just casually leave a nuke outside my front door.
Oppenheimer.
Think of it as a statement piece.
Yeah, so that's all we got. If you've listened to this entire show and you still haven't seen Pluribus, what the hell are you doing with your life? It just
you just ruined it for yourself.
Yeah, you just ruined it for yourself. I hate spoilers. It reminds me of apparently years ago when like one of the Harry Potter books were coming out. I think it was the Half-Blood Prince. There were douche nozzles standing outside of like bookstores releasing the latest book with a sign that says Dumbledore dies.
I remember
that was me for Avengers Endgame, but with Tony Stark.
Yeah, but so I think it's time to wrap up. Oh, go ahead.
I remember when The Force Awakens came out, there was some kid on the bus screamed Han Solo dies, and then we just started jumping in with like, spoiler alert, the Titanic sank. What was another good one? Spoiler alert, Woody and Buzz reunite with Andy.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I had a kid like that in high school. He ruined The Force Awakens for me before I saw it, so I knew.
It's always that one guy.
Yeah, it's always that one guy. He spoiled almost every Star Wars movie for me. And he was
on the bright side, Kitty.
Ooh,
meow meow.
Kitty.
She's sleeping right now. I can hear her snoring. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the microphone. It's probably not sensitive enough, but
nah.
She's snoozing.
That's so. All right, I think it's a good place to wrap up the show. Thank you all for listening, and thank you, Jack, for joining us on this show. We always appreciate having you here.
It was a pleasure for us.
Yeah. So I am the individual formerly known as Lex.
I am the individual formerly known as Zach.
And I was once known as Jack.
So, thank you all for listening. And please watch Pluribus. I want a season 2 so bad. And yeah. All right. Bye.
We love you all.
We love you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.